Hey man, the boys in blue got it done. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit nervous watching the game, but hey, I knew they was gonna get it done. But I saw this tweet the other day, and it got me thinking about the 2020 season because, yo, those were some dark days, and it's really crazy because the program's done a complete 180 since December of 2020. But I thought I'd talk about what led to the 2020 season going the way it did, and then also kind of what Michigan did to turn things around. But as always, like, share, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you were feeling like after the 2020 season. And let's also get a score prediction for the game on Monday. 2020, the COVID season. Hey, I think it's just best we start in the spring because that's kind of when everything started going downhill. So in a normal college football season, you'll have winter workouts, spring ball, summer workouts, camp, then the season. 2020, I think everything in Michigan got shut down. It was either the day before or the day of our first spring ball practice because I vividly remember them trying to push things up so we could at least get one practice in, because I'm pretty sure at that time Ohio State had one practice in and we were trying to match them. But yeah, no. So we're trying to push everything up. Like, we're getting texts on Teamworks like, yo, actually get to the facility right now. We're gonna have a quick practice. And then eventually everything just got shut down. And a couple days later it was like, yeah, everything's shut down. You guys can go home. Football's not a thing right now. And then that carried over into June 15th. So for like 2 to 3 months of the year that were supposed to be dedicated to football, there was just no organized team activities. Like, most guys weren't even in the state. And when college football is very regimented, like everything you're doing is usually on a schedule, like things are set in stone. And when you kind of remove guys from that regiment, especially younger guys, a lot of the results that you see on the back end, I feel like they can be really variable. Because in addition to just workouts, nutrition is also a big thing that Michigan or a college team provides you. And guys, everyone comes from different upbringings, everyone comes from different backgrounds. So everyone's not gonna have the same access to food, same access to workout equipment. So people were just in really different places once we all got back to Michigan. And kind of going off that last point, we were a pretty inexperienced team. Like, we had a lot of guys at positions that were playing major roles for the first time in their college careers. And like I said, there was no off-season program, so guys didn't really get the reps that they would have gotten in a normal year. And then on top of that, going into the season or right before the season, we lost two major senior contributors in Nico and Ambry, and that kind of put guys in positions where, okay, now you didn't have the reps that you would have had from spring ball and over the summer. And on top of that, you're gonna have to play an elevated role because we lost two of our best players. And you take that and then you couple it with how many injuries that our team had. I mean, Quiddy was hurt, Aiden was hurt, Ryan, J. May were hurt, Cam got hurt. Now, it might be a correlation doesn't equal causation, but not having an entire offseason program and then trying to play a football season, maybe it caused that. But we also lost a lot of experienced players to injury that year. And as a result, we were trotting out a pretty inexperienced team. And to anyone watching that season, if it felt like there really wasn't chemistry on the team, it's really because there wasn't. Like, I don't think we ever had a week of practice leading up to the season where we had every single contributor practicing at the same time, either due to them getting COVID, them being contact traced. Like, there was never a time where we were all practicing as a team. Guys were practicing next to the guys they were going to be playing with. Like, it was always fractured. It was always split up. I mean, there were times where we were running like 3 separate practices just because some guys were contact traced and weren't able to be around other guys. So, I mean, the whole thing was a mess. And then, I mean, it doesn't really have to be said again, but some of the schematic stuff we were doing, especially on defense, just really wasn't working out. I think a lot of people started to kind of pick apart the scheme, kind of understand what our scheme was and how to attack it and exploit it. And yeah, we tried making adjustments on the fly, didn't really work out. And I mean, eventually that, along with losing as many players as we did, I mean, it was just a bad product. But I think the biggest thing from the COVID season that just isn't talked about ever is how much it actually sucked to play. I mean, from the time we all got back to campus in June, all the way until the end of the season, you really couldn't see anyone outside of the team because of the chance that you could contract COVID. Then that, along with the fact that there were no crowds, you start doing poorly. Now you're hearing all the outside noise. I mean, I know guys like to try and say they block it out, but the outside noise, it always leaks in at some point. So when you're already doing poorly and you start hearing that and you start reading things online, I mean, it's just a snowball effect. Like, everything starts going downhill. So there we were after the 2020 season, 2-4, canceled our last 3 games of the year. Had everyone saying we were ducking Ohio State. Already talked about that before. Go to this video if you want to see that story. But, everyone's calling for Harbaugh's head. And yeah, things are looking bad. Things are probably at rock bottom. So what changed? Well, to answer that question, I sensed a complete philosophical change in the program from the end of 2020 to the beginning of the 2021 cycle. And I think one of the most apparent places that was in how there was just a complete buy-in from players. So a little story on that is in 2020, our last workout before spring break, we get there at 6 a.m. We're going through the normal stuff. Coach Herb's talking. And I just kind of remember him saying something. I'm like, yo, just tell me my workout. I'm gonna knock it out, get back to Jersey. And I just hear him say, I'll even jump in the pool, the cold tub. So I'm like, huh? And then I see him take off, like full sprint and just cannonball into a cold tub. And then he gets out and he's talking some more and he's like, and I know my whole staff will do it too. The whole staff, like strength staff, sprints in, jumps in a cold tub, comes back, and then he's talking to us and he's like, and you know what? I know I got players that will too. So the entire team goes into the little cold tub room and we all get in the cold tub. Now there was probably like 10 to 15 players who were kind of apprehensive about getting in. Like they were like, I'm not getting in, like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And the coach are like, oh, you're gonna sell your team out like that? Like those guys are just gonna be waiting in the pool, cold as hell, while you're up here, complaining. And guys are like, nah, I'm not doing it. So finally everyone gets in. Like there was a lot of consternation from some guys about it, but eventually we go on with the workout. And that kind of struck me going into the 2021 season, because I think if we did that workout in the 2021 season, I think there would be no question of, all right, is everyone jumping in? Like everyone would jump in immediately and go on about it. And I think if you did that same workout earlier, so like 2019, 2018, 2017, I think there would probably be even more pushback from more players. So I just think that kind of embodied like the spirit of the team of, it doesn't matter what we're asked to do. It doesn't matter how bullshit we think it might be. My brothers are doing it, so I'm gonna do it too. Another change that was made was there was a maniacal emphasis put on beating Ohio State. So I transferred during spring ball of the 2021 season, but even before I transferred, in the entire building, in every room you went in, there was a sign pretty much asking what you're doing to beat Ohio State today. So before it was, okay, we're gonna beat Ohio State. Everything we're doing is for Ohio State. We were kind of saying it. I think going into 2021, that's when everyone started living it. I mean, we even changed the name of a drill to the Beat Ohio drill. Like that's how important that game was to us. Like Coach Harbaugh said, we're either gonna beat them or we're gonna die trying. That was pretty much the mentality of the entire team. I also think in regards to Ohio State, I think previously, especially in my time there, so 2017, 2018, 2019, I feel like playing against them, there was this thought that I have to do something extraordinary in order to beat them. Whereas in 2021 and beyond, it was more of I believe in the coaching staff, I trust the coaching, I trust the scheme, I trust everything we're doing to be able to beat Ohio State. So I feel like guys weren't trying to go out of their way to beat them. They were trusting the process and trusting that the process was gonna allow them to win that game. Another change I noticed, and this is probably the most obvious ones to guys who were in the program previously and are seeing it now, is it just seems like everyone is looser and having more fun. And I think the biggest example of that is 2021 against Wisconsin and Nebraska. So against Wisconsin, they played the jump around. Everyone's going crazy, jumping around the sideline. Like you just saw guys kind of saying, this is football. We're gonna have fun with this. Like we're here to have fun. And then Nebraska, they were down at the time. They were losing to start the fourth quarter when, I forgot what song it was, but the song comes on, everyone's going crazy. I mean, y'all seen the videos about it. And it's like, we're losing right now, but it's not like a backs against the wall mentality. It's more of a, we're like about to go on the attack and take what's ours mentality. And I know like 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, sometimes when things got bad, it was like oh my goodness, like we can't let things go worse. Like if things go worse, like it's the end of the world. It stopped feeling like that, especially from an outside perspective, and started feeling more like, oh man, we're losing right now. All right, let's regroup, let's put our heads down, let's work. So I think that's a huge thing that often goes overlooked is just how much letting loose and having fun can do to everyone's psyche. Then finding and committing to an identity was definitely a super important part of the program. I mean, 2021, you saw it playing Ohio State. It's, we have the mentality. We know that we're tougher than you. We're going to run the ball down your throat. However many times we have to, it's not going to matter. Doesn't matter what you do, you're going to be in front of us and you can't stop it. I mean, before that, it kind of felt at times it's like, oh, we're going to be a power run team. No, we're going to be a spread team. No, we're going to be speed and space. So I think finding something and sticking to it was the best thing that could have happened. And then the final kind of philosophical change I noticed was just the mentality of not, oh, I hope we don't lose. It's, we're going to win. Like, doesn't matter who you put in front of us. Doesn't matter what obstacles we have to overcome. We're going to win this game. Before, I always felt like the feeling was kind of more, oh, we know we're capable of winning. We know we're equipped to win, but what if we do lose? Like, oh man, we're gonna have to hear the outside noise. We're gonna have to deal with all the critics and the naysayers. Whereas 2021, it really felt like it was, we're not even worried about what happens if we lose, because that's not even a thought, that's not even a possibility in our heads. So that's some of the changes I noticed from 2020 and before that to 2021 and beyond. Credit to Coach Harbaugh. I mean, he's one of the top 3 coaches in the country for a reason. Everyone, like Joel Klatt said it, Colin Cowherd said it. They all say that he won't say it, but it feels like he's evolved. And I really think he has. I think that 2020 season was a good reset. And after that, he's just been a man on a mission. And I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Like, the results show that he's an elite coach. But that's gonna do it. If you liked the video, remember, leave a like, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments who you think's gonna win the national championship. Let me get a score prediction. And remember, let me also know what your thoughts were during the 2020 season. Hey, were you on the fire Harbaugh train, or were you like, hey, let's ride it out? But yeah, that's gonna do it. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.